Question 48 of Secunda Secundae is about the parts of prudence, and it's kind of interesting that the last question that started this treatise on cardinal virtues, which was about prudence, had 16 articles, and now question 48 has one article. So it's going to be rather quick. And maybe after that long one, just need to take a little bit of a break. But I just want to kind of reiterate the fact that all of these videos that we're doing as we travel through the Summa is in order for us to better understand ourselves as human beings made to the image and likeness of God. I think what Thomas really is kind of getting at in the Summa is the uniqueness of the human person, right? St. John Paul II said the human being is the only creature that God created for its own sake. And so we need to understand what it means to be a human person. And in order to do that, it takes some digging into the various faculties that we have and how we as subject interact with the world as object, and also how the world acts upon us: intellect, will, passions, appetite, sensitive appetite, intellectual appetite or will, senses, exterior senses, interior senses. It's really fascinating. And so that's what we're doing. We're learning about ourselves so that we can have a better understanding of our dignity as human people, and also the dignity of every other person out there that we can see, which is only human beings, or the only visible, persons that we are ever going to encounter. So this one and only article of this question says whether 3 parts of prudence are fittingly assigned, and that will be the case. And so in this one, he's just talking about the different parts of prudence. And so he says parts are of 3 kinds: integral, as a wall, roof, and foundations are part of a house; subjective, as ox and lion are parts of animal, which means, I guess, individual, types of animal; and potential, as the nutritive and sensitive powers are part of the soul. So I like how he's reviewing some of the things that we've already learned. Accordingly, parts can be assigned to a virtue in 3 ways. First, in likeness to integral parts, so that the things which need to concur for the perfect act of a virtue are called the parts of that virtue in this way. Okay, so these are integral parts of the virtue. 8 of these parts can be identified with prudence. He says of these 8, 5 belong to prudence in the cognitive virtue, having to do with the mind: memory, reasoning, understanding, docility, and shrewdness. So those are the 5 having to do with cognition, while the 3 others belong thereto as commanding and applying knowledge to action: foresight, circumspection, and caution. And he's going to go over a lot of these in the next question individually. He says, in the first place, knowledge itself, which, if it be of the past, is called memory; of the present, whether contingent or necessary, it's called understanding or intelligence. Secondly, the acquiring of knowledge, which is caused either by teaching, to which pertains docility, or by discovery, and to this it belongs to a happy conjecture, of which shrewdness is a part. All right, so then he also says the use of knowledge, inasmuch as we proceed from things known to knowledge or judgment of other things, and this belongs to reasoning. And the reason, in order to command a right, requires to have 3 conditions: foresight, circumspection, and caution. Okay, so he's just kind of explaining a little bit more detail what we already said. The subjective part of a virtue are its various species. And he gives examples of species of prudence. I'm not going to explain them all. Military, domestic, regnative, which I think has to do with ruling, and then political prudence. And then he says there also is dialectics, rhetoric, and physics. And then he says the final and potential parts of a virtue are the virtues connected with it. And these he includes good counsel, gnome, Gnome, which concerns judgment in matters of exceptions to the law, and prudence is about the chief act, that of commanding. All right, so that is that, and I hope that made some sense. the point is, prudence being such a key virtue has a lot of different parts to it, and that's what he was going over in this question. All right. Thank you for watching. God bless you. We'll see you in the next video.